Guys, welcome back. It is Goblin Gang. It's been a while since I've done a Yap session. This is my second one, unserious one. Water football, new sport. I've been thinking about it for a while. I talked it with my dad multiple times over the last year. We have created another sport which we can talk about another time. We call it two ball. Really fun. That's a basketball version. This is water football. I've been thinking about the design for a while. I thought a lot of time to think about it actually this last Thursday on April 30th. It was yesterday, I guess. Yeah. After taking one of my finals. So water football, right? I think this sounds pretty straightforward, but it's going to be kind of interesting. First thing I wanted to say is why. Why am I thinking of this? Because football, I love football, but it's really hot, especially when I go to play in the summer with my friends. Some of my favorite games are to play in the rain. It kind of might be slippery. So that's why it's just stinking hot, dude. I mean, in the water, it might still be hot, but at least you can cool off. Also provides a really challenging difficulty, I believe, running through water, and we had some new format things. I think that'd be kind of interesting. So that what leads to the next topic, literally just straight up format. So we have this ring here. This is the pool, right? And these are the football field. It's gonna be about the same dimensions of a football field. I mean, it could vary, right? This is midfield, of course. This line of scrimmage, gonna show it off. But this dotted line, dashed line along the outside, that's the perimeter. That's the field of play. And the reason why I have the extra water there is like you can have guys sit on the bench outside, maybe in the shaded area, but the pool, this is for safety reasons, right? If you're making a diving catch or something like that, you can push it out of bounds. You're not going to hit your head on the hard cement. So we're trying to separate that distance for that. The pool's not going to be very deep. Deep pools are really tough to move in, like swimming. You're not moving very fast. We're going to have a depth between 3 and 4 feet. 4 feet's pretty deep. Like you're not moving very fast at all. 3 feet though. Is shallow enough where you might be able to run a little bit. That height might change. I kind of want it to be where like right around like just below, like right above the knee. I think you want your knee submerged at all times, so I wanted it like a knee, and then I wanted it like above like the waist area. So I'm trying to think like what would be the good height for that. 4 feet's kind of, when I think about it, it's pretty high, but I think 3 feet's actually a good depth, I think, initially. But I do want variation, and you guys will see why later. So there can be variation. Format. I hope I have 11 guys here. I want it to be just a regular like football format, like whatever you guys think like regular football would be. You have the 5 linemen still, you have the quarterback, you have your running backs, fullback, tight end, wide receivers. It's gonna be like regular football, just played in water. I have the officials here, trying to set up the officials right, because usually officials are on the field, but in the water you can't move as fast. So if there's a play coming your way, we don't want the refs to be in the way, and I've seen multiple plays where that happens. So these are the officials here with the yellow arrows, and kind of showing where they are aiming. So we have a ref way in the back, looking at the back of the play, looking in the pocket, making sure there's like, and you can see running back, like false starts there, maybe lineman shifts. This ref right here is looking at the line of scrimmage, making sure there's no movement by the offense or defense of lines, mainly looking at those guys. That would also include maybe wide receivers. It might be shifting a little bit more to the left, more on the line. Our third referee, we have it in the back, looking more at like the defensive line, linebacker area, like a shallow pass range, maybe a play that comes downfield a little bit. But in a way, they're going to cover like zones. I should have done zones. That would have been a better way of showing that. And we have a ref way in the back for deep plays, mainly looking for PIs, cornerback, safeties, like looking for any of those calls. So I think that's a good way to set it up. Going over to the rules, right? So rules. There's some distinctions between this and regular football. So when you're down, is when the ball touches the water. So it doesn't matter, like, I mean, your knee can touch as long as the ball doesn't touch the water. I might have to make exceptions to that, like maybe like if your head goes underwater, you're down as well. But yeah, I mean, I said like to drag down the player. Number 2, catch. Cannot hit the water. Ball cannot hit the water at all, right? The ball is dead. And that goes on with a full arm extension. So it does not include the 2 feet down rule like in football because your feet are underwater, it's hard to see. But you are going to have the 2-arm extension there. Which I think is going, like, you just like reach up, like you catch the ball and you have to reach up, signify you made the catch. And once that happens, I mean, if the ball hits the water, I think that's the thing that's interesting is, like, I don't know if I wrote it down. Fumbles are going to be kind of interesting too with that, because when the ball hits the water, the play is pretty much dead. So you kind of just got to knock it out. It would be interesting. I think fumbles are kind of tough. The one thing I think I would want to stop, I didn't write it down here, but is forward progress. You might be able to stop forward progress in this. Either you just bring the water, like ball underwater to down it, but the defense can just keep on pushing you back. They don't have to put you down. They can just keep on pushing you back. Waterlogging penalty. That'd be important. We don't want to have anyone drowning. That's really important. Of course, this game's gonna need an ambulance on site, just like football usually does. I don't know if basketball does. Football definitely has an ambulance, and this one would need one too. But waterlogging, this sounds pretty cool. Just no putting anyone underwater. Like, I think most penalties, like holding and stuff, could care less about. But waterlogging is definitely going to be one I think is going to happen. I don't think they're going to see it a lot. I think it's going to quickly get deterred, but no waterlogging at all. And that might be a pretty severe penalty, actually, if we don't see it happen a lot, because we don't want any, especially drowning instances, so that's pretty scary. One thing I was saying is tripping. Tripping in NFL, I mean, you don't hear it a lot. They're not fans of it. Tripping is going to be fine here. Underwater, pretty much anything underwater is pretty much going to be fine. You can't see anything. I mean, of course, there's like no like kicking people in the nuts or whatever, but I mean, I think tripping, tripping, we might have to change it, but I think initially we're going to have tripping as a pretty fair thing. But you cannot interfere with a pass. You can't interfere downfield by tripping. But if the person has the ball in the backfield trying to trip an O lineman or something, like D lineman, I mean, you just gotta take it. It's going to be interesting because I think in a way you can move fast, you can move slow, and there's going to be more aspects to that as we go down. Most of the rules are just going to follow the typical rules of regular football, so I'm not too concerned about that. Go down to the final one. Uniqueness. This is where we're ending it off. One thing, guys, I didn't show you guys on the format part. The floor will have rippled textures because of the grading of the slopes. That's why we have the 3 to 4 foot depth, because it can actually change depths in its own pool depending on whose floor it is. You can have your own rippled textures. So, like, this is just the design I made just off the bat. You have circles. It just has to be symmetrical on both sides of the floor. I don't know if you want to have it symmetrical, horizontally, like cross, and this way as well. I mean, it might be fair, but the thing is that I forgot to put it down, grading. That's the slope of I think I want it to be, you drop a foot, initially I was thinking like every 3 feet. You can go up or down a foot like every 3 feet, which is where my range of 3 to 4 feet is. And in a way, it's going to be interesting as you run, right? You're running ripple to ripple, like these are the shallow parts. If you go deep part, you might slow down, it might be tough. So, one thing I really like about this is it gives you that home court advantage. Like, people talk about home court advantage. There's really no home court advantage. Every basketball court's pretty much the same, except for colorblind people, as you see in the NBA, who struggle to shoot on red rims, like red floor, red background, like red stadiums, red fan bases. Colorblind people tend to struggle in those areas, but really there's no home court advantage, really. I mean, I think it's kind of bogus, and that doesn't really mean a whole lot. The terrain, because you can have it play here, like in a deep spot where the line of scrimmage is, you might have a deeper spot where it's going to start off like the O-lineman might have a trouble in play, and sometimes you might have a defense in a better spot, or you can change around. So every play can change vary from play to play. So you never know. There's a sweet spot where something might work, and there might be a sweet spot where it might not. Like, it's kind of interesting. I think that's really cool thing that you don't see in sports today. Just like how each team can design their own floors. It's kind of like baseball's walls. I think having the whole like floor textured, I think that'd be pretty cool. I think that actually, when I think about it, it's pretty much just baseball wall depths, and you don't see that a whole lot in pretty much any sport. I think the only sport you see it in really is baseball's walls. I mean, I think one thing I was thinking about was the ripple texture. One thing I had in my mind is you're just running from shallow to shallow to shallow, right? You're trying to run from shallow to shallow spot to make sure you keep your speed. You have an advantage to keep that speed. You don't want to go in the deep parts because I want to get that right height where that sweet spot, like the shallow ends, I like to move faster. Like, it's not slowing you down as much. And as soon as it gets, because I know for a fact, like below, like mid thigh, like there's different levels which you run fast. There's the ankle, right? That's definitely the first one. I'd say the knee is definitely a major one. I think mid-thigh even is one, because you have to lift your legs more out of the water. And then there's like the groin area. I think that's probably mid-thigh groin area. And then you have your hips. Hips are a major one. You go to chest, you're screwed. But hips is another major one. That's one of the next major ones. Your chest, you're pretty much just playing water polo at that point in a shallow pool. But I think this is going to be interesting. I mean, that's why I came up with the idea. I think it'd be pretty fun. You see diving plays. I think it's going to increase. It's going to be a pretty intense thing. You can cool off. I mean, it's going to be like football, and I think it'd be pretty fun. I would be fun with a lot of teams. That's for a fact. It's going to be pretty intense, though. It's the only thing that would be really tiring. And I know one thing people talk about football recently, especially my cousin, and my dad's kind of agreed with it recently. He's talking about how football, there's so much downtime between plays. Like they don't play football that much. Like they're just sitting there making play calls for most of it. Like a lot of adjustments, because between downs the clock continues to run. It play might last like 10 seconds, but then they can run the clock out 30 seconds between downs. So I think they say about 15 seconds of the game is actually like the ball is in play. Most of the time the ball is just dead. So it's very interesting. So there might have to be some adjustments. I just thought this was a great idea. It came into my head, I'm like, wow, this is amazing. I've been thinking about it for a long time, and on yesterday, I was just like, wow, this is incredible. So guys, this is Water Football. You guys can come up with a name if you guys want. This is not anything official just yet, but if anyone wants to start up this league, that's perfectly fine. Make sure to get some television thing. I mean, you guys can just YouTube it too. That'd be fun. I think in the pool, it's really easy to set up a few cameras on the different angles, and I think it's gonna be it could be pretty fun and intense game. It's pretty loud downstairs. I don't know if you guys can hear him. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. This is my second yak session. Not as long as I want. You guys want to ask questions, guys, please leave them in the comment section. I wanted to leave this video down because I want to make sure I have all these things noted down. I did not get everything that I was thinking about, but I got a majority of the stuff, which is going to allow us to create ideas, create this thing, and advance it. Very cool idea. I mean, I don't even think this thing exists, but there's a lot of different sports out there, I acknowledge. But I think this could be a pretty fun thing, fun addition to the sports world. Thank you guys so much. I'm Goblin Gang, and I'll see you guys next time. I have another video planned, another Yap session for next Saturday, so make sure to check that out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.